Hey everyone, in this episode, we're going to talk about Steven Spielberg's latest installment, Ready Player One. We're going to compare it to some of his other classics, talk about all the pop culture references and how that made an impact in this movie, and the movie experience, all that and more in episode 27 of the Reel-ists podcast. Team Reel-ists, thanks for listening to this episode. I am Oscar.
I'm Donnie.
And we have our producer, Ruben.
Hi.
And he says hello. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where we're going to be like, he doesn't say hi, guys. Today he decided to be quiet.
Wow, we just introduced you, Ruben, and you didn't say anything.
But yes, again, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode and all of our previous episodes. If you're a loyal fan or loyal Team Reel-ist, we appreciate that. Keep spreading the word. Let everyone know that you know. We can't stop that train. Do not stop.
Don't stop.
Can't
stop, won't stop.
Tell your coworker. I think you named a good list last time. Like, tell your coworker, tell your friend.
Yeah, everyone. Your mom, your dad.
Your ex. Your
priest, your rabbi, your milkman.
That one friend from high school that you don't talk to anymore that you decided to reach out and just say.
Your stalker. Your anybody.
That person that rear-ended you when you were 17 and got your license the first time.
Go to the library. Tell the librarian.
You know, they do exist. We just went to the library, so we can confirm. That is official. Libraries do exist.
Libraries are still running.
And all you have to let them know is we are on Thursdays, new episodes. We cover many movies, new releases, classic favorites, anything that's relevant with movies, like we did with the Road to the Oscars. We are there. We are cover it. And just keep telling us. Keep spread the word. We appreciate it. We are ready to talk about this movie, Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. Before we get to that, let me just briefly read the synopsis from IMDb. That is Internet Movie Database.
I'm laughing right now because I'm looking at the Google one, and it's so long.
We moved on from Google.
Can you imagine if we tried to read that? This is like a freaking novel.
That's a whole movie.
Yeah, for real. That's like the whole movie. Like, if you don't want to watch it, just read
We moved
Google.
on, guys. We improved.
Yeah.
We found a reliable source. Check out imdb.com.
Hey.
Not sponsored. They are not affiliated with this podcast.
Not yet.
Not yet. Nice. All right. So Ready Player One. When the creator of a virtual reality world called the OASIS dies, he releases a video in which he challenges all OASIS users to find his hidden Easter eggs, which will give the finder his fortune. So, we are going into the virtual reality world with this movie. Donnie, what are your thoughts on initially your overall experience?
My overall experience was a good one. I was a little apprehensive about this film. I knew it was going to be a good film. Like, I knew it was going to be a good quality film. I can't even say his name.
Steven Spielberg.
I got so nervous. Oh my gosh. We're talking about such a monumental filmmaker here. Sir Spielberg.
There you go.
Always brings just top quality notch stuff. So I knew it was going to be good, but I'm not a heavy gamer in that sense. So I didn't know how personally interested I was going to be in it, but I was pretty into it. Like, I mean, in a lot of the filming, a lot of the scenes were them in the OASIS in this virtual reality world. And it was really cool to be like just so immersed in it. And it was it was like otherworldly experience.
You kind of take it as like an animation kind of movie to some extent too.
Yeah. You kind of you kind of look at it like that. There's like, or even kind of sort of like Avatar too, like just.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it was just like, I have no words. It was really good. I really, really liked it. And then I walked away. It really got me thinking too, just about where we're at as a society with virtual reality and technology, and how it's just so prevalent in our every day-to-day life. And to kind of see, like, I don't know, it kind of made me think about, like, is this where we're headed, kind of, like because this is set in 2045, I think.
Yeah.
And the OASIS, it's like everybody knows this place, everybody goes to this place, and it's not just like, oh, it's just a couple of like video gamers that are. It's like the whole world. Like everybody goes to the Oasis. So it was really just mind blowing to see like how much that influenced culture and society, and how it was just like that was a part of your everyday, like in that world. Like you wake up, you eat, you brush your teeth, you go to the Oasis.
Yeah, like it mattered like how many coins you had. Like that was life.
That was life. Yeah, it was very a part of life. So it's like, just got me thinking like, dang, like is that, I mean, we kind of are headed there, because like, I mean, we don't have the Oasis,
just our phones right now.
So our technology, social media, I mean, that is a part of culture in our life right now.
Bitmojis.
Bitmojis, love them. Although I don't like the new update thing that they did, but
I don't think I've checked the update. I'm behind. My initial thoughts on this movie is kind of practically on the same level. I did walk away satisfied. And I think I'm satisfied because of the story it told. It was just another adventure, and I think Spielberg knocks those out of the parks when it's an adventure story. Mm-hmm. He's able to bring you into this world and make it an enjoyable ride for sure. Even the movies he produces do a great job of just telling an adventure story.
Yeah.
The pop culture references,
there were so many,
and it's fun. They're fun.
It is very like pleasing to the eye just to see.
Yeah.
Because it's like unless you're living under a rock, like you can recognize so many references.
Yes.
I mean,
even if you're just a movie fan, you recognize like Kong and the T-Rex, like Jurassic Park, and it's everything. There's something to recognize.
I mean, yeah.
Unless you've been under that rock, unless you're Patrick and your best friend is SpongeBob,
and you guys live under the sea, then yeah. But I mean, and that's what I really loved about it too. It's like, because I mean, whether you're an old person, young person, like I feel like everyone will like, whoever sees this film, they're gonna be able to walk away and be like, oh, I loved that part when they showed blah blah blah. I loved when they showed Freddy Krueger. That was so awesome. Or I loved that his car was like the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Just like all these references that were just so cool.
And I don't think none of it took it away from this movie. I don't like. That was one of my fears, was going into this, was being like, this movie is just going to be like nostalgic, filled, and the plot's just going to be like irrelevant. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. And I think this movie, and also the movie that comes to mind immediately, is Wreck-It Ralph with the video game world. Both those movies, they make references. They do those like pop culture touches, but it did, none of them took away that the story, and you still feel like, okay, I am following these characters that are brand new still, and it's not like you just want to be like, no, I don't want to go, I want to stay here with all these characters. You are okay with leaving them. It's kind of like a nice, hey, good to see you again. Mm-hmm. But all right, we got to go find these keys.
Right. We can't forget about the mission. We have
right.
To, we have
it's
to
like, oh, hey, Batman, what you doing over there? So it was fun. It's definitely fun. So yes, I was satisfied. One of the things I want to ask you, Donnie, is, given that this is Steven Spielberg, he has a collection of movies he's done. Uh-huh. Do you think this one is going to be one that stands out for you necessarily? Is this one, are you gonna, if someone says it, do you believe you might mention this? I mean, I know right now because it's recent, fresh, but down the road, would you list this as like one of those movies that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I personally would. I don't, like, in general, I don't know if this one is gonna be like, when you're talking about like the greatest Steven Spielberg films of all time. Like, I don't know that the general public will be like, oh, Ready Player One, oh my God, But for me personally, I loved it. I really think if just people will give it a chance, and I because it is a film about virtual reality, and there's going to be talking about like video games, just in the most general sense. So I feel like that can turn people off, and that's, like I said, I was a little like apprehensive to see this film at first, because I was like, I'm not into gaming like that. I don't know if this film's going to hold my attention or captivate me like that. But it really did. So I really hope that even if you're not into gaming or virtual reality or whatever, I hope that people will still give it a chance, because it is such a great film. And
I think you did a great comparison with Avatar. Avatar, I mean, what they were going into wasn't a video game, but it was that same kind of feel where it's like, you don't necessarily, yes, the movie makes it a video game world, but you don't always feel like you're in the video game world. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a great thing. But yes, it definitely is one that I'm sure that the audience, some were skeptical because they're like, oh, great, another video game movie. Yeah. Another like, oh, he found an extra life, or, all those cliches.
Or there's like films that the visuals are great and look amazing, but like the storyline itself or the plot is like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like they have to, there has to be some plot. There have to be plot points throughout the film. So we're just gonna like do whatever, but make it look really cool. But I feel like this film didn't do that. Like, I mean, it looked great, the visuals were great, but I was also very, very interested in the storyline too, and the characters and what they were trying to accomplish, and you know, and what they were being opposing against. I thought it was just great.
Yeah,
like, it didn't just rely on, oh, let's just make it look cool.
Right. It was part of it that they definitely took advantage of.
Yeah.
Like, I think the thing that for me, to answer the question that I asked, I do see this as one of those movies that will get listed by Steven Spielberg when he comes to mind, but not necessarily because of the movie, because the movie itself is entertaining, but I think it's that it succeeded in combining the two things that normally don't work, that normally aren't together necessarily. The plot, a good story, and the video game life, the pop culture references. Normally those things don't clash. Normally when they are put together, you get some kind of one of those, like, I think, example, Pixels. I think that's a fair comparison, where like that story
I never saw that one.
Well, maybe you might have done yourself a favor on that one.
Dang, that bad? Did you see Pixels, Ruben? No. Okay.
No. See?
He said no.
And I'm sure.
And I never will.
But I mean, like, that was one where it had a lot of nostalgic pop culture references, but it failed to deliver on a story that you do want to see. I thought of this myself. Do I want to go see this again? Mm-hmm. And my initial thought was yes, for the pop culture references, to see what I missed, see what other characters.
Because I feel like I don't think anybody will catch all the references the first time.
Oh
around.
Yeah, no.
There was just too many, and they're just all throughout the whole film, you know. And
the thing with that too is,
and there's even, I read something that they're like how they were talking about the Easter eggs. Like, there's Easter eggs that were put into the film in
like
terms
actual,
in terms
That's
of
funny.
Not actual Easter eggs, but in terms of references, like that maybe we didn't pick up on, or we didn't notice.
Well, personally, I read somewhere that the Flash was in the beginning, a little blink and miss cameo, and I was like,
yeah,
I need to go back and see that. I love the Batman shout out. That was fun. So yeah, I definitely think it's rewatchable too, and maybe at first it might be for the appearances, but I do see myself wanting to see this movie down the road, just to kind of relive this adventure of finding the three keys and becoming, you know, the head honcho of this corporation in this video game world. So I thought that was cool. The next thing I do want to talk is in the movie. Now we're going to go into spoiler territory. This is it.
Don't spoil it.
There's that tag. There it is. There's a warning. All right. So this movie has, I guess we can say, 3 acts, right? Would you say so? Yeah. Each key was kind of like an act that had much some kind of side plot going on. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite part, I guess? Well, not your favorite scene, but like your favorite act. Like, which one? Because like, I know for me, the first one did not really deliver. Like, it was like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my favorite. I personally enjoyed
the second act. I think I enjoyed the second act the most.
Yeah. Then we're right on the same page for that one reason that it did that I didn't see coming. The Shining reference.
That was the best part. I think that was a lot of people's favorite parts, but
that was awesome.
It was really, really clever, and
the setup was perfect. Like they're like, oh, we have to go, you know, into this world real quick, and it felt like we were watching The Shining for just a brief second with these.
It really did, and it's so cool. I mean, talk about like a you know, epic like kind of crossover thing. It's like that was really awesome to see these characters, you know, in the hotel, you know, and it was cool. I really liked it. But yeah, the second act for sure, I think was the first act was, you know, it was setting you up, and you were, you know, still getting the gist of things and learning the ropes, and he got the first key. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, let's
clever how he got it. He figured it out.
Right. And I mean, I know it wasn't, I don't want to say it was so easy to get the first key, but it kind of was. Like, all you had to do was go in reverse and you got to the first key. So it was like, okay, I know the second and third keys, obviously it's going to be a lot harder to get them. And
and it definitely was one where if you were this in this world, you really had to like research his life, the creator's
You
life.
had to know, yeah. You had
Like,
you had to know this man. Like he had to be like someone you just know, like I guess an idol or something that like you know all these little details and all these intricate things about his life and about who he is as a person, and
Yeah.
you know trying to like get into his psyche and understand him on a deeper level, which you know the main character did. What was his name? I know his avatar name was like Palvazar or something like that, but
Yeah, Parzival. I mean, that's how
Parzival.
But yeah, he
what was his real name?
Ed, Mark, something.
Tyler, Jacob.
Ty Sheridan was his real name. Was the actor's
Oh
name.
yeah.
We'll look into
But
that.
anyways, like he really loved this guy.
Wasn't it Wade? It was Wade.
Wade?
There you go.
Wade. He was just. I mean, that was his idol, so he knew everything about him, and I you know, which ultimately is the reason why he
Was the winner.
He won.
Oh, spoiler.
Oops. We gave the spoiler alert.
But yeah, no, I personally I did like those clues. It's unfortunate that this was one where we really couldn't like put together because we didn't know this guy, and like in that sense, like we couldn't be like, wait a minute, but he dated that one girl. Like we
just had to watch him figure it out.
Right.
We basically were just like couldn't offer anything.
we were just like that, just nosy, like, what is he gonna find out? What?
Yeah.
Like, what do you know about his love life? And just like challenging.
Speaking of, that whole like kind of virtual library that he went to, like whenever he wanted to rewatch a moment of that guy's life.
Oh, and it was like an actual like.
And you can actually like go to a
simulation.
specific time and see, like, but you're basically a fly on the wall, and you can see what the conversation and see everything. Like that's.
But it was his perspective. I'm assuming like it wasn't like maybe it was like. I thought of it that like it was like his memory of it. So I don't think it was like an actual like simulation.
You're talking about Halliday's memory?
Yeah. Like he was like it was his interpretation of what happened in those moments.
Right.
Which I was like, well, that's all biased.
It is. You could totally
painting himself like the innocent, like
dude. If we had that technology available,
we'd all be saints.
I would be. I was gonna say Jesus, but I wouldn't be Jesus. But I would be like freaking the best guy in the world.
Like all the fights you've had was never started by you.
Never by me.
Oh, you okay? And then just like the other person unleashes their anger. And
I'd be like, Oscar, how you doing, big guy? And then you'd be like, I'd turn you into a monster, and you'd be like throwing things and yelling at me, and I'd be like, I was
just asking what are you doing? I can see that. I can definitely see that. Which I was like, okay, I can understand that this is a hit into your clues, but I definitely was like, well, is this the real story? Especially with his best friend. Well, I'm calling him his best friend because it was like his co-partner.
H.
No, not the main character. Halliday's.
Oh, yeah.
Halliday's real life business partner.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did come out. He did have that kind of like he left him because he got the girl and I guess he was ready to move on kind of thing.
Sorrento.
No, Sorrento was a bad person.
Oh. Where is he? Oh, and on Anorak? Anorak?
Yeah.
You're like, no,
Sure.
he's somebody else.
But the other guy sounds right. Played by Simon Pegg. Is it Simon Pegg? Did I say it wrong?
No, I think I got the wrong guy again. You know what? I'm just not gonna attempt to name these characters because I clearly don't know.
Say the actor's name.
Yeah,
I think that might help.
That was Halliday's Anorak Halliday, I think. But I'm not gonna say anything. Anyways.
But yes, but Simon Pegg's character, Ogden, whatever his name.
Oh
is.
yeah,
that guy.
Okay. What about him? Now I'm lost. What was your original?
Just the fact that it was more of like he did come off as like he wasn't understanding Halliday's like reasoning and interest in the game and creating like this world. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he definitely had that biased approach, which I was like, okay, sure. We're looking for your secret clues.
Yeah.
But that concept itself was cool. This movie did a lot of awesome concepts. The Shining reference. Like, can you imagine if we all watched movies now where we're practically like are in the movie scene itself, and like we could actually walk around and
I couldn't watch horror films if that was the thing. I would never watch a horror film.
Right. I would totally be in like the superhero world.
Yeah, you would.
I'd be like, go, let's go, let's
I'd
go.
be shoot. That would scare me too. I'd be like,
Iron Man, duck, Captain America, roll.
I'll put myself in like a rom-com or like a family sitcom. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can.
Go to like Full
You'll
House.
be there. So like it'll be like the romantic scene with like the two couples kissing, and you're just right next to them. Just like, "Aw."
And then they look at me like, "What are you doing?"
Like you guys should be together. That would be. I mean, that was one of the cool references. I mean, even just like the competition itself, like the first and final battle, or the first was racing, and the final battle was like all out epic war battle.
Yeah.
In the like icy mountains. I don't even know what they were called. Like that would just those were cool concepts. Like, can you imagine you fighting with your favorite like characters from video games? Like if you're fighting with Mario trying to defeat Bowser and all those like stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked too. By the time we got to the third act, like it really had kind of woven the real life with the virtual reality in terms of like. It was like this just wasn't. It wasn't at this point. It wasn't just a game. Like it's not like oh, let's just play because I want to be the winner. Like this was like if you won, you're like gonna become rich. You have complete control of the OASIS. Like people were like,
you're gonna have enemies.
You're gonna have enemies. Like this is real life. Like the character
Sorrento
Olivia
was
Cook's
the bad
character that I was talking about.
Oh,
Artemis.
Yes.
Like she was like. You know, like she had got captured and she was like ducking and dodging these bad guys. Like this was like a real life at this point. And I really just liked that. Like
at the same time, I did say it in my head once during the movie. I was like, guys, it's just a game. like right. They're like, you know, like
at the end of the day,
I need to know these keys. I need to get these keys, guys. It's
but
just
I
a
mean,
game.
Yeah.
I mean that's to me, I think one of the hardest things that I had with this movie, I guess we can say, was I understood the concept, like, you know, this game is really popular, but I just don't see video games or, you know, virtual reality more so in general getting everyone's attention. Like there had to be a life outside of this, and we didn't really get that.
Well, it looked like, I mean, this was in like a dystopian kind of world, and so I mean I know it was like they were having like global warming was bad, and it looked like overpopulation
with the way the helming was, yeah.
So I think like the world they were in is like not what it is today right now. I mean that was the thing, like the OASIS is everyone's escape. Like that was the
I get that, and I feel like but I still feel like there are those that would not go into gaming. Like I felt like there were times when he was going to his home, like, and he was back in reality. People that were playing it in their homes and like nonstop, and I don't know. I felt like this movie was trying to say this can be a place where everyone will play. But I honestly feel like even if that was the stakes, I can still see a lot of people not playing that movie, playing that kind of game. Like I don't see my parents ever, like be like, okay, I'll play this game.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you can win money, they would be like, no, I don't want to play. Like I feel like I know there should be a lot of people that would not play, and that would have been nice to know what else is in this world, to be like, you know, maybe if you're not in this video game world, maybe you're trying to stop the global warming and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we're definitely like going off, like I guess we're just going off the assumption that, I mean, the way it was presented was that every single person plays this game.
Yeah, not just.
But they didn't
like
address any
teens.
like, you know, what if you don't have, like, what if you're poor? Like, what about homeless people? Like, are they able to go to the OASIS or do they not?
Yeah, like is the government providing you the equipment to play, or if it's broke, you got to go pay for it? And because yes, the main character was in like a rough neighborhood for sure, and there were some people in the streets that were not playing, so maybe there is a life outside of it. It was a small sample, right. But I was curious. They
didn't really elaborate. But yeah.
Like I can understand if it was like only the new generation that was playing. I would have to read the book. I guess we should just say we didn't read the book.
Oscar, read the book.
Read the book.
You should really read the book.
Maybe I know. Ernest Cline. I'm sorry, I didn't read your book yet. I heard he's actually getting another movie from another book that he made.
Really?
Yeah, like he's gonna.
Okay, so we're just gonna write a book because that's the way to make a film nowadays.
That's the secret, guys. Write a book. It'll get made in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Because he was involved in the screenplay of this movie. Ernest Cline was involved.
Oh, good. I would want to be. I think if I wrote a book and they were like,
We want to make a movie.
Well, okay, if they were gonna make a movie, I would for sure want to be heavily involved. But if like they were like, if they came to me and said Steven Spielberg wants to make this movie, then I would probably just be like, hands up, all right, like I trust you, you know what you're doing, man. But yeah, I mean, I think I would want to be involved.
It's tough though. It really is tough, and I've seen like some interviews with like actual, the authors, who it's just like, it's your child. Yes, you created this world. You wrote, you created the characters. You wrote the scenarios, everything. But when it's being adapted, you kind of just have to let it be interpreted the way the person wants to, or the way the studio wants to, because there's no way your whole book is going to be told in that movie. So yeah, I guess
you have to just be okay with knowing that like things are going to get dissected, and possibly things are going to get switched around or changed or altered in some way. It's not going to be an exact movie replica of your book. So you just have to know that and be fine with it, or say no, I don't, or what?
or be and be like, you know what, okay, that's fine, but I kind of want to still be involved. Yeah, that's tough.
But thankfully,
personally, I would want to be involved too.
Yeah, unless you just didn't care about it, then you're like, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just give me money.
Give me that $75 million
check, and we good. You can do whatever you want with this book.
For sure. So I guess I do want to ask this question. So we talked about Spielberg, we talked about the pop culture references, and we talked about the movie and its hitting clues. This movie is still considered a video game adaptation. Do you feel, Donnie, that it did did it do anything to that video game curse that it's considered, where video games are just not the kind of things you make into movies because it just doesn't work the same? The audience isn't really in that same world. They don't get to play the character. Do you feel like this movie did anything to kind of just say like, well, no, maybe a video game world that you can explore in a movie might be something you do want to see? What do you think on that?
I don't think it. What was the? Can you ask me the single question?
Do you think this movie?
That was a lot of words that came out of your mouth. Just what's the question? Do I think this movie?
When you don't know the answers, you got to. Yeah. No. So the question is, to just simplest terms, do you think this movie helped break the video game curse?
Yes, because I think with other video game adaptations, like the audience is going in with a certain expectation, like, oh, okay, I know this one game, like this, you're basically telling me this is what the film is going to be about this one game, so I better see A, B, C, D, and E. Whereas with this film, it was like they weren't promising us. We knew we were going into this crazy world where like anything was possible, and they said it right off the bat. As soon as
Percival.
Did I say it right?
Percival or
something like the main character, as soon as he was explaining to us what the Oasis was, he was like, you can go skiing down the pyramids, you could go blah 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 blah. Like they're telling you like the sky is the limit, anything is possible in the Oasis. So it's not like I was, if I see Crash Bandicoot and he's like riding Aladdin's magic carpet, I'm not gonna go, oh, that's not a real thing. No, they can't do that. Like I know, like this in this world, anything's possible. I
really feel like you'd be upset about that.
I would be happy. I'd be if they maybe there is an Aladdin reference, probably not, but
no. I'm just saying I can totally see, like, if this was the life of us and we were in video game worlds and someone was riding the magic carpet, I could totally see a little Donnie being like, I want that.
I probably would. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I mean, I think this film, it didn't like disappoint, or it didn't, I think in terms of like the video game curse, like I don't think it like did a bad job, or you were mentioning Pixels, like how that was a flop. And,
right, mention arcade games.
But no, I don't think so.
So here's the thing for me. This is a video game movie, yes, but it's not based on a video game, and that's the difference here. And if you look
based on every video game,
it's based on every video game, movie,
freaking superhero, freaking horror, monster, everything.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anything from the 80s, pretty much too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's based on a decade.
That's kind of maybe that.
So that's why it was.
Maybe that hurt the younger attend like a crowd. Like maybe the young crowd's like, well, I don't know any of these characters. Like yes, they may know like, oh, that's a Back to the Future movie, but it doesn't pull their hearts the same way, you know, those that watched it in the movies when it actually came out in maybe the 90s.
Yeah.
But I was trying to say is, I said but bye, like I don't know what's going on there.
It's okay.
What I was trying to say is it's not based on a video game that we have played ourselves, and I think that's the biggest difference here is we don't have the opportunity to go into the Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to, and I'm sure there's going to be like one company that creates a little simple version of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I doubt it, because then they can't get all the like avatars to be in it, because that's a whole IP-ish. That's a whole nightmare. I'm sure. Never mind.
Okay.
Maybe there won't be an Oasis, but yeah, I feel like this one was one that, yes, it's a video game movie, but it doesn't do anything to the curse, because the ones that have been having this issue are those that have been on something that you can actually play and contribute to.
Right.
And I think we'll see this in Rampage when that movie comes out. That's a video game that's being made into a movie that you can actually play as these, you know, monsters destroying life, or not life, but destroying buildings. So this one is one where it's like, sure, we could have read a book about it, but you never had actually any control to be in this world. So I think that's probably unfortunate that, yes, it did put a positive light into, yes, video game movies can be made. And I think this also ties into Wreck-It Ralph, where those video games were not video games that you actually could have played. Like, you know, his game and the candy racing games, they were similar to other games, but they were never games you can actually go and play until at least after the movie, which I think at that point is why you enjoy it. But that's how I feel like it's so yeah. So my answer to my question is, I don't think it broke the curse. I don't think it did anything, but let the audiences know you can still enjoy a movie that has some kind of video game culture to it.
Right.
So with all that being said, Donnie, is there any scene or anything in particular you want to talk about? You can just go straight your favorite scene if you want.
Well, my favorite scene we had already mentioned, the shining
moment.
Shining moment. I also really liked the end when
The credits.
No. When he basically got the egg, when he got the big egg,
yeah.
The golden egg, he won, and he started crying, like tears were coming down his eyes, and because I feel like that was such a, I mean, obviously he became rich and he won, so he's like, I'd be crying in joy
and
too.
he had no one too.
But I feel like it was more than that. Like it wasn't, I mean, yes, the money helps and complete control of the Oasis helps, but it was like, I feel like for him it was such a deeper, more like emotional, more like feat that he accomplished. It wasn't just about like money and power. It was like
in the way the bad guys,
in the way the bad guy
Yeah,
wanted,
Sorrento.
like that's what he wanted. Like that was what he was about, was like getting it so he can control, and so he can have the money and he can control the Oasis. But it wasn't Parzival's main.
Right. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't concerned about like actually taking control of the game. He just wanted to win and be able to make sure that the Oasis stays open. Although they closed it for 2 days once he got his like say
Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Which I think was really cool. I really liked that because it's like,
but not everyone has. I mean, the way the scene played out, just to talk about it real quick, was it's a narration of like everyone moving on with their life after this event, and he's with Artemis.
Yeah.
Or he's with Olivia Cook's character.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it felt like this scene was kind of implying like, yeah, you know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, go have a life like me, who's
who has
in a relationship,
has millions of dollars now, and
that was kind of tough. And I was like, well, you're one, and you're very like a rare case where you might be having everything well in your life at this point. But like, if you know, if let's just say if he'd never won this, if he was just another person, that would be very tough to be like, now I can't play a game that I escaped my life, you know, my world into. Like, I get what the message was trying to say. But they did say,
too, he did say something along the lines of, like, it wasn't by popular demand or something. Or, like, basically people weren't happy about this one, but I decided to close it on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they acknowledged that.
People wouldn't like that.
People wouldn't like it.
Yeah, because it's tough. That's like, this is your escape, and now you can't do it on 2 days.
I mean, maybe one day would have been fine. Like, one day, like, you know, like a Sunday. Like, right. Sunday, the Oasis is closed.
Or a recommendation, or like a limit, like, okay, you played for 48 hours this week. take a break, take a 2-hour break. I don't know.
But then I guess that's another issue, because then you're like you're telling people what they're allowed, how much time they're allowed to spend in the Oasis. Like what he did. I mean, he's saying people, you're not allowed to go into the Oasis Tuesdays.
I think we're getting into the sequel. If there's a sequel, I think we just.
But I mean, that's what having complete control of the Oasis is. So that's his decision.
Right.
He won.
Now he's the bad guy. Dun dun dun.
I hope not.
I doubt that.
Ready Player 2.
2 Ready Players. Yeah, I agree in that sense. The favorite scene of yours is being The Shining 2. I can't top it. I mean, I love the moments with like the you know what? Well, actually, let me take it back. It's not my favorite, but I did enjoy that club scene.
Oh yeah,
when they went in there, there was some DC Comics characters in there. That was awesome. Joker, Harley Quinn, Deathstroke. Yeah. Loved seeing them.
There was some Dance Revolution.
Yeah, and then
that's where we saw Beetlejuice, right? Or was that a different scene? I felt like Beetlejuice was in there.
Oh no, I thought he was in the battle. Maybe no.
Oh no, he was in the battle. I don't know if he was at the dance club too or not.
Although I will say, T.J. Miller's character, who was playing Sorrento's like sidekick or like assassin, kind of that knew more about the game and was kind of giving him like the info and like what weapons do and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That character was funny. I really enjoyed that character. Like he was evil, but he was like all the references to like his neck problem.
Yeah,
he was just like, all right. I can't take you serious.
He was like, there was like comic relief with him.
For sure. But, you know, that was another great scene. The dancing, I really, like, that was a moment where it was like, oh, dang, he just put himself out in blast.
Yeah.
They almost had him. He had that Zemeckis cue, which stopped time, or reversed time for a little bit. Mm. That's when you knew things were going down. But, all right.
They weren't going to stay down.
All right. With all that being said, real score. What is it, Donnie?
Real score. I give it a 4 out of 5 reels.
Okay.
I thought I just thought it was great.
Thought it was great. Right.
Wasn't perfect, but I mean, it was great.
There was no Aladdin reference, and that's why.
Yeah. I needed an Aladdin reference. I needed a La La Land reference.
Movie's not in the 80s.
No. But yeah, 4 out of 5. A solid 4 out of 5 reels.
Okay. I'm giving it a 3.5.
Okay.
And I'm giving it a 3.5 because as much as, you know, I was intrigued in the world and the story, I felt the story was it was very plot convenience. Like it just happened to be that, you know, things worked in the favor for the main character and that's, you know, that's not a problem, but, you know, you don't feel the impact. Like I never felt that this character was ever going to be in trouble or losing it. Like at the end, when the bad guy was like approaching his vehicle or approaching Percival in the van, driven by who we didn't even mention in this
H,
his friend,
his best friend,
awesome person.
Yeah.
Did you get the? Did you see the twist when it was like she was a female? Mm-hmm. You got that? You know, did you know that beforehand or?
No, I thought it was a man, and then when it turned out to be a female, I was like, oh.
The scene, I felt.
And when she had said, you don't know this person, they could be a 300-pound, blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't even pick it up then, but now I'm like, I'm sure other people did.
Yeah, I did.
Did you, Ruben?
Yeah.
Remember that scene?
Did you expect it to be a girl?
Were you listening to us?
No,
I was kidding. I was kidding.
I thought the voice sounded weird. I knew it was going to be a weird character. Especially when you did mention about
you don't know who this is.
Because I'm like, you're referencing like this is gonna be somebody different than you would have thought.
Yeah. So in case those that couldn't listen to that because Ruben was far. But Ruben was saying that essentially it felt like it with just his voice and the subtle things that you pick up. But yeah, I mean, I liked it though. I still like the twist. I kind of felt like it, and I was like, nice. I thought I knew Artemis was a girl. That was.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't a.
We knew that one.
What if that was a twist? That would have been interesting.
I really thought that when the bad guy was coming up to the van and pulled the gun out, I thought Artemis was gonna take a bullet for. Parzival.
I would have saw that.
I think I said that to Ruben. I was like, she's gonna take a bullet. I think I said it to you too. I was telling everybody. Everybody in the theater. This is my prediction.
Saw the movie.
I would have bet money that that's what was going to happen.
But I never felt that the main character was in trouble. Like, sure, maybe one of his close friends would have made it out alive, which was a happy ending, which is not cool. But did you know, actually, one of the friends, there was two that they met that they were kind of like samurais in their avatars. The older one,
Okay.
I'm losing his name. In the book, he actually dies in that
Okay.
battle when they're fighting Mechagodzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Just even saying those kind of things sounds weird too. Like, when he was fighting Mechagodzilla.
When he was yeah, I know. Mega.
When the Iron Giant was fighting Mechagodzilla, he actually, like, that's where he died. Like, he sacrifices himself and he actually dies. But that was not in the movie. It was omitted. It was altered. It was changed.
I'm not mad at it, but I mean, it's not like I had any
That would have been a
attachment
nice,
to the
like,
book. So
that would have been a nice little, like, he didn't make it out alive. But yeah, I just wanted to know that.
I like
that was a
happy
fun
endings,
fact.
so.
That was the fun fact for the episode.
Oops.
What?
I said I like happy endings, but then I realized that that's not. I like when movies end pleasantly. Is what I meant to say. What is the message I was trying to get to?
Got it. So yeah, my score is 3 out of 5. That was one of the big things. And then I did feel like there are times that it was extended, like it shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was like it wasn't even a matter of like letting the scene breathe. It was like dragging on things that were details that was like, okay, do we really need all this information? Like the scene with like the whole breakdown of getting the clues from the archive videos and all that, just personal things like that. But 3.5 is my score.
Okay.
But everyone, let us know what you guys thought. Was this your, movie of the year so far? Did it beat expectations, if anything? Sound like it beat some of your expectations, Donnie, going into it. So,
is this a film you'll remember when you hear the name Steven Spielberg?
yeah. I feel like it is just based on the pop culture references.
Really? I feel like I already forgot.
Ruben forgot. Ruben's like, what movie did we see?
No, I forget that he's attached to that film.
Oh, Ruben is like, never mind.
It's not like you think about it and you're like, Steven Spielberg.
There's just so many.
What's your score,
monumental
Ruben?
films.
Do you have a score?
Associated with Steven Spielberg?
I would say it's a 3.
Ruben's score is 3.
3.
Okay. But not.
He just mouthed to us that it's a 2. He was like, a 3. It's a 2.
But apparently, yeah, Steven Spielberg. It's not gonna be one for Ruben to be like, that's Steven Spielberg's movie. All right, fair enough.
No worries.
Just like that, though. Let us know, guys. Let us know.
Yeah.
If
Just throw it out there. It's a 3 for me. Comment. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Anything. Just let us know. Communicate with us. And again, just want to make sure everyone remembers, if you do want to participate in our episodes, we'll be more than happy to set something up. Just contact us with any of those social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Team Reel-ists, Team Reel-ists, no dash. And, keep listening to us. We appreciate it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.